What's going on, everyone out there? Brand here from Bloody Breakdown with a video I haven't done in quite a while. I've been really consumed in a lot of the horror news because really that's all we got to hold on to right now is a lot of news. No releases. We're just keeping our fingers crossed that a lot of titles that still remain throughout the year still come out. Maybe they don't get postponed an entire year like Spiral. Yeah, Halloween Kills. So I just wanted to sit down and go over some additions to the old horror collection. Something a little bit more lighthearted than talking about, our fears about cinema for the rest of the year and into the future. So, all Blu-rays except for one. Just wanted to kind of quickly go over, since I did do an overview of the entire collection a couple of years ago. Maybe sometime soon I'll just go through the whole thing all over again, because I'm sure I've left some things out as to what I've picked up, since these videos are a little bit few and far between. So let's go ahead and start out with the very first one, that is going to be Crawl on Blu-ray. Now this one is one of my more recent pickups. I still haven't actually watched it yet, but I did blind buy it because I had heard so many good things about this one. And to be honest with you, I'm not really huge on stuff like animal predator type horror. I think Jaws, it kind of begins and ends with that. Maybe there's a few others sprinkled here and there. But I've heard such good things about this one that I decided that I'm going to give it a shot. So if you guys have already seen it, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'll be watching it here in the next few days myself. But I thought that, you got Sam Raimi attached to it. You've got some names attached to it that I could see putting together a pretty decent film. So let me know what you all thought. I thought it would be a pretty decent addition to the collection, if for nothing else than the fact that it was pretty critically acclaimed. So yeah. Alright, up next is the only DVD I have that I picked up. I don't really buy a whole lot of DVDs anymore, but I haven't moved on to 4K yet. I'm still kind of stuck in that Blu-rays on. But it's The Fly. And fuck me, right? Like, how do I not have Cronenberg's The Fly at this point in time? And I don't know. I don't know why it took me so long to pick this film up. Honestly, up until recently, I haven't done a lot of shopping online. Way less than the average person, I think. Let's say that. But I did just happen across this, so I went ahead and picked it up. It's a classic. I mean, you guys know about The Fly. If you haven't seen it, check it out. What the hell are you doing with your life? So up next, I've kind of been on a quest to go ahead and grab up all the John Carpenter and Wes Craven flicks that I don't already have in the collection. So in that effort, In the Mouth of Madness, another one that I can't believe it took me so long to put on the racks back here. But I seem to say that a lot in these video updates when I pull out a movie like this, and I'm like, what the fuck, like I just did with The Fly. But with a lot of over-the-top streaming services now, sometimes it can make me lazy as a collector, being able to just pull the film up whenever I want on something like Shudder or Netflix or, what have you. But yeah, being a collector, this is a film that definitely deserves to be in the collection. I wanted it in the collection. Like I said, I'm really kind of trying to pick up all the Wes Craven and John Carpenter stuff I don't have yet. I'm gonna do that by director here soon, because I'm actually running out of room, and my wife has already threatened death on me if I try to pick up some more racks. What she doesn't know, she's gonna have to kill me. Anyway, coming up next, we have probably one of the newer editions or newer films out of this entire pickup. The Lighthouse, and this is another Robert Eggers film. If you liked The Witch, you'll probably like The Lighthouse. He has a very he has a way with his films. I think that most people that I've talked to, there's very little in between on Robert Eggers films. It's either you think they are brilliant works of art, or you think they are absolutely ridiculous and not worthy of even discussion. Me, myself, I think this was a very interesting film, to be honest with you. I would say definitely check it out to see what kind of camp or which camp you fall into. I think if you look at this from like a filmmaking standpoint, you'll probably agree that it's a really great film. But it's really just, it's not something that I would watch on repeat. It's something that I'll watch every once in a while. But yeah, really good performances in this by Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out too. Now here's another one that is fairly recent by a director that I favor over Robert Eggers, as there's been people kind of contending with that, and that's Ari Aster's Midsommar. Really enjoyed Hereditary. I've got it back here on the rack. Midsommar was one that I'd heard some pretty good stuff about. Also, Ari Aster's another one of those guys. I think when it comes to these artsy types of horror films, you really have those hardcore camps of, fuck the artsy shit, and it's the greatest stuff ever. And I see both sides, I really do, because like I said, I don't think their rewatch value is quite as good as some of the other like schlocky, corny Friday the 13th type stuff. But it's just really good filmmaking. Now, I do prefer Ari Aster to Robert Eggers, because I thought Midsommar was fucking just strangely horrifying. So yeah, check that. Definitely check Midsommar out if you haven't already. Once again, as I had mentioned, in a quest to pick up all the Wes Craven and John Carpenter flicks I don't already have back here, here we have Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs, and it's actually a pretty good film to take a look at in our current political climate. And I don't really get too political on this channel, so that's where I'm going to leave it. Check it out. I really enjoy Wes Craven's work. It's basic bitch of me to say, sure, but Wes Craven and John Carpenter are my dudes when it comes to horror. It's Halloween and Scream all fucking day long. But their other work is just, chef kiss, fucking immaculate. Check out The People Under the Stairs. Once again, this is, if you're a horror fan, get on this. Get on this. Up next is a film that came out a couple of years ago. I thought, what was it? I think Fangoria had something to do with this. It had the guy from Reno 911, Thomas Lennon, in it. I'm talking about Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich. Man, if I was talking about the schlocky, stuff that has good replay value. It's not the best film ever made. I wouldn't compare it with anything Robert Eggers or Ari Aster, but motherfucker, is this an amazing horror film. Barbara Crampton's a part of it also. Some of the craziest, bloodiest, goriest, just insane kills go down in this film. It really got me reinterested in the Puppet Master franchise, and son of a bitch. If you've seen this one already, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about some of the crazy kills in this one. If you haven't, you should. You should. If you're of age. The parent in me kicks in every once in a while. Also, in preparation, and I have seen this film before, but in preparation for the upcoming Scream 5, had to take a look at Ready or Not here, because the guys who are at the helm of this film, 2/3, I believe, of Radio Silence, Matt Olpen, Bettinelli, and Gillette, I forget his first name. They're going to be at the helm of Scream 5, Tyler, I believe. And if you watch this film, you're going to get heavy Scream almost vibes from it, in that self-referential kind of. You'll see if you pick this film up. There are elements within it that make me pretty confident that if Wes Craven, unfortunately, due to his passing, is unable to direct Scream 5, I feel pretty confident with these guys at the helm. And it's just a really fun movie. It's a good horror comedy film. So check it out. And I'll say so, it's where it does have plenty of comedy in it. I don't think it's too overdone to the point of maybe some of the others that I'd have a little contention with. And speaking of Wes Craven and Scream, I already owned this film, Scream 4, on DVD. I bought it when it first came out back in 2011. However, I did have the Scream Blu-ray box set, or the set that they had with the original 3 and the 2 documentaries. So I just wanted to go ahead and get Scream on Blu-ray, just kind of even the score. I'm a completist when it comes to the Halloween and Scream franchises, so sue me. Up next is Dr. Sleep, probably my favorite horror film of 2019. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick. They can fight all day about whatever, but I enjoyed Kubrick's The Shining, and it's one of my favorite horror films. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I'll have to cheat here for a minute, if I can find it. I can't remember the guy's name who directed this, and I don't really see it here on the back. Oh yeah, Mike Flanagan. Really love his work, and I think he's outdone himself with Dr. Sleep. My personal favorite horror film of 2019, and I'm really glad to see it added to the collection as a Kubrick and a King fan. This is another one that I have not watched fully yet, but I've seen enough of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch it all. It wasn't my decision. But I've seen enough of it to know, and I am going to be sitting down and watching this probably around the same time that I'm going to watch that other one that I had mentioned, Crawl, and that's Train to Busan. What I've seen of this movie is standout, spectacular stuff. I'm really looking forward to finishing it. I haven't seen the ending yet, so no spoilers, people out there. But feel free to let me know what you think about this film. From what I've seen, this is something that I think, like the zombie subgenre, easy for me to say, has really needed to see for quite some time. And I have no problems whatsoever watching subtitles when a movie is that good. Up next, we've been hearing, and I've even released a video recently about the upcoming 4th entry into the VHS franchise, VHS 94. With that said, I had already had VHS and VHS 2 in my collection for years because I love those films. Absolutely adore them. However, there was a third one entitled VHS Viral that I thought was a massive letdown and a shit-stained smear in the legacy and in the franchise that is VHS, because I felt the first two were so scary and so original that this one really pissed me off. I can watch it, but I have to go into it with, like it's not a VHS film, because you're not getting that. Something similar, akin to a ripoff, if you will. But no, it's a VHS film. So yeah, as a completist, I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and pick this up. And the less said about it, the better. Really hoping VHS 94 brings us back to the glory days of the original two. And last but not least, also in an effort to complete a franchise, because there is a new Wrong Turn film coming out soon, I went ahead and picked up Wrong Turn 6. If my math is correct, I now have all of them. So yeah. These are your typical brutal, almost gory torture porn in a way type movies. There's a time and a place for them, and I really enjoy them. Maybe they're not the best films, obviously, but they're very enjoyable, and us horror fans, we get it. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Everything I've picked up since the last update. Like I said, with space becoming sparse. Sparing, if you will. A lot of alliteration going on here on Bloody Breakdown. Go fucking figure that. Wow, that was really good. With space being a little sparse back here, I've been trying to buy less. That's a little difficult sometimes whenever you see so much you like, but it helps out when you realize that your bank account's a thing. So yeah, with that said, feel free to leave a comment, about the collection, these films, what you think about them in general, whatever. Leave it all down below. I'd love to hear from you all. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and turn on notifications if that's something you haven't already done. If you're a horror fan, go ahead and do that, because I guarantee you're going to enjoy your subscription here at Bloody Breakdown, because anything and everything horror films, we're talking about it right here on this channel. Also, guys, if you would, before we depart from one another today, go ahead and check down below in that description section where you'll see a couple of links to follow me on places like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or even support my work via Patreon if that's something you're able to do. It would be greatly appreciated. So with that said, it's your turn to leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about this. I'm Brand from Bloody Breakdown, and I'll catch you all next time.